always talking about the benefits of wood chips around the base of a tree. But in this case, there's an extraordinary story associated with this grand old valley oak. Years ago, this park was a baseball field. It was the home of the Quito Little League. And directly behind this tree was the backstop, and this whole area was compacted beyond belief. For decades, kids played baseball out here, and this tree looked really sad. About 15 years ago, I made the recommendation to the city of Campbell to cover this entire area with chips, which they did. They once again took my advice and put a fence all the way around this tree. But they put the sign up here, which is very unusual. I've never seen anything quite like it, and I find it very educational, but also very telling that the city of Campbell is not only aware that they have a heritage tree here, but aware that there could potentially be some problems, but more importantly, they're willing to accept the potential liability of the what-if scenario. Now the tree does look fuller and greener than I have seen in years, and partially it's because there's a lawn that gets irrigated consistently with this new park. But I believe that the chips have a lot to do with it. The chips have been working their magic with the beneficial mycorrhizae and the retention of moisture in a very large section of the roots, and consequently I think this tree is doing just marvelous. I also want you to take note that they have not buried the trunk with the wood chips. They kept the natural grade where it was supposed to be, and they actually created a bit of a berm here and pulled the wood chips back. So this whole area has been refreshed several times, but it is 4 to 6 inches deep. And you can guess that this compacted soil in here is now quite valuable and quite beneficial to this tree. Now as a comparison, let's take a look at this large valley oak. It doesn't look too bad, but it's nowhere near as full as the one that has the chips underneath it. This tree has part of its root system under the road, which is sort of acting as a mulch, but it doesn't get any water. And the root system is in a seasonal creek. Unfortunately, there wasn't any water in the seasonal creek this year, so there's a fair amount of dieback up there, and the tree is really sparse by comparison. I don't know if you can see that in this video, but if you just look around at all the trees, you really notice a difference on the ones that either have irrigation or were mulched. So mulch is the answer. And finally, to wrap it up, here's yet another valley oak whose root system has been mulched and refreshed. It's got some fresh mulch over last year's mulch, so there's probably 4 to 6 inches now. And the tree's looking pretty good. It is not quite as full as the tree in the park that gets more irrigation, but it seems to be tolerating the drought a little bit better because of the mulch. Also recognize that only half of this tree's root system has been mulched because the road and the driveway are taking up a portion of the tree's root system. So in some cases you have to do the best you can do with the available space that you have left to work with.